Wow, okay, I'm like wasting no time in this. I'm seriously wasting no time. If you guys hear me whispering, it's because I don't want to wake up anyone in the house. Because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? As I'm recording. But wow. This episode highlights Boba Fett in the best way. I think this might legitimately be the best episode of Boba Fett. For the sole reason, it actually showed Boba Fett being a badass. So pretty much we know from the last episode there was going to be a big fight in this episode, seeing how this one is going to be the last episode of either the series or season 1. I'm not sure if this is going to have a season 2. The way it ended, it could be a one and done thing, or it could continue. Who knows? But long story short, the Pikes are trying to take control of Boba's territory, and Boba has to take a stand, and it's him, the Mandalorian, or Mando, the Wookiee, and Fennec Shand, and the gang that has the Power Rangers looking spirit bikes, as everyone likes to call them. They make a stand, and of course there's this epic battle that kind of makes them come together, because at this point, when the battle starts to begin, there are different points of the town, and they eventually come together. And as soon as like things seem to be dire, pretty much for Boba. Okay, I'm going to backtrack a bit because I'm still like in awe of this episode. Boba and Din Djarin has this really badass duel scene with each other, just shooting up the Pikes. And then here we come with the people who was from Freedom Town comes in and saves Boba and Din Djarin from getting their asses handed to them. And then that's when like the Wookiee, the Power Ranger gang, and Fennec Shand all comes in together as a team. That was pretty cool. But before that, we also saw that some of the citizens before was paid off, and some of the people that was in that room with Boba saying, if the Pikes ask you to turn their backs against me, I hope you be neutral. Yeah, they weren't neutral. No. So kind of fast referring to the Pride was referring to. They're on the run, right? And then Mando does this Pfizer thing, which like these two big versions of the droidekas from droidekas, the droids in the Clone Wars that were kind of small. They have little mini guns, and they have the shields around them to protect them. God was like Phantom Menace. It's the droids that caused Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan to run away after they realized that the negotiations were going to not be there. And the people of Freetown wants to revenge because the leader of Freetown got shot. He's unconscious. Spoiler alert, there's a scene of the credits where it shows that he's in the bentha tank getting revived, so he ain't dead, just awake. And I probably have said this already. It's gonna be the title of this video, was spoiler alert. So if you guys don't want any don't want any more spoilers, dip out now. Dip out now, cause you ain't safe from spoiler territory, even though I am whispering. But wow, this episode was great. And then the battle ensues. Mando and Boba goes off to one team, while the other people goes off to the other team. And essentially, Boba gets the Rancor and has the Rancor beat the living shit out of the droid's shields. And Mando uses this to help Boba. But also, in this episode, I thought we were going to get a Luke Skywalker moment. I generally thought we were going to get a Luke Skywalker moment. But the Luke Skywalker moment came in Grogu. We didn't see Luke Skywalker using his lightsaber too, or the Force. It was Grogu. He used the Force a few times. Because Grogu and Mando, they reunited. Mando was going to get his ass handed to him by one of the massive Droidekas, and Grogu uses the Force to disable the droid, which helps the Rancor beat the living shit out of it. And then the second one came, and pretty much the Rancor kicked that one's ass too. But then Cad Bane had to show up. And I probably blurring things together, so I might be mistaken at the moment because I'm still like nerding out, like whoa. But essentially, both of the Rancors gets their asses handed to them. Not Rancors, but the Droidekas, massive, gigantic, supreme Droidekas. But after the second one gets destroyed by the Rancor, Cad Bane walks in like a boss, does the whole flamethrower, causes Boba to fall off, and we got like pretty much the ultimate showdown. We got the ultimate showdown right here between Cad Bane and freaking Boba Fett, which makes me kind of happy that when Lucasfilm part Star Wars, the Clone Wars got canceled for a moment, because even though it would have been great to have seen this in the Clone Wars show, it was even better to see this duel take place live action. I kid you not. Because at first, which I'll get into a bit, we see this little standoff. Boba says, "I'm not a kid anymore," and Cad Bane said, "Yet I'm faster and yet I'm older than you." And Cad Bane proves Boba right. And for the most, like, the beginning, Cad Bane was kicking the living shit out of Boba. And Cad Bane kicked Boba's helmet off. And keep in mind, Boba actually, this is the episode where Boba kept his helmet on for the majority of this episode. I was like, yes! And, then Boba gets the upper hand, uses the stick that he got from the Tusken Raiders, and kills Cad Bane. Was Cad Bane, because we saw Cad Bane and Boba interact before the end of this episode, but he kind of reiterates in this episode too, that the leader of the Pikes was the one who was responsible for the Tuskens' death. The Tuskens that Boba hung out with in a flashback. So bringing in the flashbacks with a nice round circle. which honestly makes me want to rewatch the entire series as a whole. It makes me want to binge watch this series now. Now that I know where they're going, I want to see it. But Boba kills Cad Bane and walks away. Be right back. Jump cut. I gotta say, I guess I'm back. I gotta say, of all the episodes, I like the 5 episodes that we've seen Boba in. This depicts Boba's Fett in a really cool way. Because the other episodes, we didn't really see him fight. Like, we saw him kind of a little bit, but we didn't really see him fight up until this episode. I was like, thank God. And we saw him wearing his helmet for the combat. Yes, and we got to see him kick Cad Bane's ass. Yes. And if this episode was amazing, but you would think the conflict would have ended there. No. The conflict didn't end there. Because of Cad Bane, the Rancors on a rampage did not like a flamethrower in his mouth. No. So what happened was Boba's allies were shooting at the Rancor. Mando came in and said, Stop. With Grogu in his arms. He said, Stop, you're scaring it. Mando gives Grogu to the mechanic lady, and as she's in the fight, and he said, take care of him. Mando gets toe-to-toe with the Rancor. The Rancor knocks Boba out. And what does Grogu do? He does not just stand there. With the training that he had from Luke, he comes out there like a boss. All confident. We get a new side of Grogu. Like a boss. He's not as defenseless as he was in the first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. And he does what Anakin did in the Geonosis arena to that one beast. When it was just Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan. And uses the technique called beast control. And tames the Rancor. And that was so cool. And for Grogu standards, that was badass. Let me say it again. Grogu was freaking badass for doing that. Got major respect for Grogu. Now. And so the Jedi training Luke gave to Grogu has paid off. I do still think that Grogu will make his way to Luke. I'm still holding on to that theory. I'm still holding on to that hope. Because I think Grogu could be the one, the catalyst of Luke throwing away the whole, Jedi can't form attachments rule. Bullshit. Luke's going to break that rule. Or dismiss that rule, or get away with that rule in his Jedi Order. Grogu is the best way for Disney to do that, in my opinion. Or maybe Din Djarin and Luke could have split Grogu, so it can Grogu could be like the second Mandalorian Jedi with Yoda's lightsaber. That's just ideas, Disney ideas. And then pretty much that's, and the next gen kills the Pikes. a leader who was responsible for the Tusken Raiders' death. And after that, kumbaya, kumbaya, hey, Boba, kumbaya. I see you, Boba Fett, ooh, yeah. Shorty down the street with Fennec Shan. I don't care if your body is hurt. We are going to celebrate you, oh yeah. I don't know why I'm going into this music number. Somebody's gonna clip that. Somebody's gonna clip that. But, no. Boba and Fennec goes down the street of Tatooine, the district they're in Tatooine. And everybody's loving him. And Fennec, celebrating him. And, we see the team getting back together with the exception of the mechanic, Grogu, and Mando. And we kind of get this little kumbaya, kumbaya. We beat the Pikes, suck it, motherfuckers. I do not care. I beat you with my team of Power Rangers and the Mandalorian with his Darksaber and a mechanic with their pit droids and a species that we don't know what the hell they are because George Lucas. That was great. It was great. I might be turning this into a musical number, but it was great. It was I liked the episode. But that's not all. That's not all. We see Mando flying in space with Grogu. We don't see the mechanic again, but we see Mando and Grogu in space, and Grogu is pestering Mando to do like light speed, because I guess that's fun to Grogu. And at the first few times, Mando said no, but then he said, fine, this is the last time. And off to season 3 of Mando, I guess. Will be, I guess, the next time we see the character Din Djarin and Grogu and potentially Boba Fett and potentially the Sheriff of Freetown, because, like I said earlier, there's an after credit scene. And as the guy who helped Boba bring back Fennec, he has the chief of Freetown in the bend to take. They kind of made a sort of like reference to that as Boba and Fennec were talking in the town. But I thought it was okay. And he's doing his magic, so we're gonna most likely see the Sheriff in like the Mando season 3, or if this show has a season 2, or both. That's a possibility, or both. But yeah, this episode was great. It's great in terms of we finally got to see Boba having his helmet on longer than 5 seconds. We gotta see Boba being a badass. We gotta see Grogu in his own right being a badass. I kind of expected Luke Skywalker to come in, lightsaber in hand, kicking everyone's ass, but I'm happy we didn't. Even though he's my favorite Jedi, but I'm happy we didn't. Same with Ahsoka. She wasn't in this episode. I'm happy that we gotta see Cad Bane versus Boba, and in live action too. Speaking of which, how Boba got the upper hand, how he got up, used that bender stick to whack Cad Bane. I thought like the cut between him on the ground and him getting up could have been better. That's my only gripe about that specific part. But outside of that, I really have no gripes about Boba killing Cad Bane. But I do love what Cad Bane says. See, you're a killer, and after Boba kills Cad Bane, we get a few moments of seeing Boba just standing there, pretty much thinking what he did before we get to switch to that Rampage scene. And the last 3 episodes of Book of Boba has been the best episodes of Book of Boba. And like I said before, I initially watched this show because I met Daniel Logan. Daniel Logan played Boba Fett in Attack of the Clones. He was still a kid. And some of the clones, the clone troopers were kids or teenagers, to say. So he was initially the main reason why I began to watch this show. The only thing I would say, and maybe this is going to allude to season 2 or the Bad Batch season 2, but with talking about Daniel Logan, we did get flashbacks to young Boba early on, like the 2nd and 3rd episode. This is what I'm referring to, where we saw Boba on Camino. I wonder how that's going to come into fruition. Are we going to see that in the Bad Batch, where Omega and Boba meet? Or are we going to see that in Mando season 3? Or are we going to see that in the potential Book of Boba season 2? That's my question, because we had that, but nothing really came out of that, unless if it was set up to the next gen's line. What about this, like in the episode where the droid says, "You're completely healed, Master Boba," and Fennec said, "What about the scars on the inside?" Were those flashbacks lead up to that line, or are we going to see that in season 2? I'm curious now. If this does have a season 2, I would very much like to see that part of the flashbacks explored. Maybe Boba trying to deal with his past, because the reason why he wasn't abandoned take was because of the events of Return of the Jedi. So he was dealing with his physical injuries. So what about the internal? Was started when Mace Windu, or maybe a little bit before that, but really showed forth when Mace Windu killed off Jango, pretty much in front of Boba in Attack of the Clones, and the Battle of Geonosis. So are we going to... So see, I would like season 2, if there's going to be a season 2, us seeing Boba dealing with his mental scars. That makes sense. And maybe through this we can see Mace Windu getting resurrected in a way, and having a duel between Boba and Mace. And maybe this way, we'll raise some questions like, where the hell was Mace during the original trilogy? Was I can't answer. But this could be like a fight, like Boba could finally get his revenge on Mace. Could have Boba get some closure, and him, in a way, not let the death of Jango really affect him as much as it's been over these years, over the last 30-ish years in the Star Wars timeline. Because Attack of the Clones to now has been like 35-ish years, give or take. And I would like to see that if the show has a season 2. Be a good way to bring back Mace Windu. Be a good way to have Boba grow as a character and have closure. I might feel differently later on, but that's how I feel currently as I am recording this video. But man, this episode was great. I love this episode. Like I said, this episode is seriously one of the best and better episodes of Book of Boba. And it's partially due to that I'm actually showcasing Boba Fett being a fucking badass. Fucking badass. Not a badass, but fucking badass. And in his own right, Grogu was being a badass too. Going out there using peace, I think the Force ability is called Peace Control, to calm the Rancor down. I thought that was pretty cool, so I thought that episode was cool. I enjoyed it. Like I said, this episode does leave off where this show could have a season 2. And if it does, like, I want it to be dealing with Boba's mental scars now, besides his physicals. But at the same time, it kind of leads off where it doesn't need to go in season 2, in my opinion. This could be a one and done thing. Could be a one and done thing. And I'll be okay with that. I also would be okay with they probably in season 2. So either way, I would be okay with that. But if they bring in a season 2, they better step up their A game. And I'm happy that yes, even though we got a Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano cameo in this series, I'm really happy that we didn't get like a special cameo in the last episode, unless if you count Grogu as the special character cameo. But again, I mean, like, in terms of pulling Luke Skywalker and Mando too, but that's just me. But yeah, this episode, best episode we had in the season and in the series. I'm saying season because I don't know if they're planning to have season 2. I've heard rumors they are, but I'm not 100% sure if those rumors are legit or not. So I know Cassie Andor's show has at least 2 seasons. So yeah. So what do you guys think about this episode? Did you guys like it, dislike it, or anything about it? And how do you guys feel about the entirety of the Book of Boba? And would you guys like to see me do a overall review of Book of Boba? Telling you guys what my general thoughts are of this series. Let me know in the comment section down below. And sorry that I had to like whisper. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning for me, 3:32 to be precise. By the time I'm recording this, my father's asleep. Don't want to wake him up. I had to make a review ASAP after I saw this episode because it was definitely worth it. I know I left some things out too, but hey, I would love to see what your guys' thoughts in the comment section. Have that conversation. But until then, love you all. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. And as the saying goes, or there's still saying that goes in Star Wars, this is the way, and may the Force be with us all.